Hello everyone. So today we are going to see and discuss how to document your API with the help of Swagger OpenAPI. So basically in this lecture I am going to show you how to use the Swagger OpenAPI UI to fetch the data and to do the operations, and also there you can see what are the configurations, how to show the response and the request body of your API. So basically you can document your API, and then you can share the URL with the third person so that they will have the idea about your API, that what it does and how it perform. So basically, I'm going to show you how to integrate the Swagger API in your Spring Boot project. So for that, already I have created one project. Here you can see with the name Search. So basically, this Search Spring Boot project has an article. So basically, article content ID and name. So this is just the project I have created for the demonstration purpose. So here ID and name, and I have created the endpoints also. So endpoints will basically add the article in the database. So with this endpoint add article, you can add the article in the database, and with get all article endpoint, you can get all the articles present in the database. And also there is one more endpoint with get by ID, and here in the URL you have to pass the ID, and with this ID you can fetch particular article. Okay, so yeah, so these are the endpoints present. uh, and you can see it contains the repository also, and the service class. So service class content, so basically I have used the JP repository to save this article, to find the article, and to find this article by particular ID, right? So these endpoint I'm going to document. So here you can see that we have not given any like description about this article controller class, and also any description is missing about this endpoint, that what it does and how it works, and what are the responses you will get if you hit this endpoint. So basically these things we are going to document using the Swagger Open API, and in the browser, in the UI, you can see all the documented data, right? So yeah, so let's start it. So basically you have to keep in mind to activate Open API, Swagger Open API, only you need to add the dependency in your pom.xml. So basically you can see that here I have pom.xml for this project. So here you need to only add one dependency. So basically this dependency will be open API UI dependency. So I have already kept this dependency. Let me copy and paste to here, and inside your pom.xml you can add this dependency. So this is the dependency, basically group id org.springdoc and artifact id as an open upi, right? Yeah. So, and the version number I'm using 1.6.4. So let me save this. So you can see that it is building, and it will download the jar related to this open API, and it will keep this in this Maven dependency folder. Okay, so let me start this application, search application. Yeah, and after starting this application, also I will show you in the Postman how these endpoints are working, and then we will move ahead with our open API. So here you can see that our application has started on port number 8080. So let's move to the Postman quickly. So yeah, so this is like get all article URL. So let's open this controller class, and in the controller class you can see this is the request mapping, and the parent request mapping is like search, and then here we have get all article. So let's fetch all the articles. Yeah, so I have some article data in the database. So I'm running in this port number 8080 in local, and this is the get method. So let hit it. So after hitting, I get 200 OK status, and you can see that these are some article data already present in my database. Okay. So basically with this endpoint, you can get all the article, and with the add article, you can add a new article in your database, and with this you can fetch the article from the database according to particular id. But these things we are not going to check. Now I am going to see how to document this endpoint. So what step I have done? First of all, I have added this dependency. Okay, so when you will add this dependency, it means that you can access the Swagger API in your URL. So for that, what you have to do, and after that, I have started my server. So basically, so this is the URL, localhost 8080 v3 API docs. So with this URL, basically you can get all the information of your endpoint in a JSON format, right? So this will give you a sort of kind of a JSON data which will show you about your endpoints, right? So here you can see that the version 0 server, which server it is using, and this is the path for add article, right? And here you can see the post method, and yeah, this is the controller, and all this information you can get in a JSON. Now if you want to access the UI of this, then there is another URL which you have to access, that is http 8080 swagger ui slash index.html. So basically with this you can see a UI representation of your endpoint of your project has been opened. So you can see that article search controller. So this will be by default, it will come article search controller, the name of a controller. And you can see that there are three endpoints it's showing already. That is the post method, okay, and this is the get method, and from here also you can do the operation. Basically you can replace a postman. If you don't want to do the operation from the postman, then you can do from this UI. So this UI is like pretty capable of doing the API operations. So let me show you how you can do the operation. So let's say that I want to fetch all the article data, then here you can see that is a button, try it out. You can click this, and then you can click on the execute method. So this will do a request, and in the response, so in the response body you can see that these articles are present in the database, and from here you can download the response also. So it is quite pretty easy, and in the header you can see that these informations are coming, right? And in the same manner you can do the post operations also. So for that you have to make a request body. So basically you need to pass the request body and all, right? So for this, okay, let me show you. ID is not required in my project because I have kept it as an like a generate automatic generated. Okay, so name you can give anything, let's say uh, let's say ticket. Okay, and simply you have to execute. So basically this is the request body, and this is the post operation we are doing, and this is the URL, and you have to execute it. So once you will do the execution, you can see that we got the response 3 id 3 and the name ticket with the 200 code, right? Yeah, so in this way, basically you can do the post operation, you can do the get operation. In the similar manner, you can fetch the particular ID by the ID also, and here you need to give the particular ID, and then you can fetch. Let's say I'm giving ID as 3 and execute. So you can see that it fetches me the article number, article detail with the id 3. Let's say you want to fetch the article with the second id, then you have to put that id, and then you can see that I am getting the id, and then and the article name is pen, right? So in this manner you can use this open api ui also for doing the operations, right? So yeah, so you can replace your postman with this. So this is from the swagger. Yeah, so this is just the basic configurations. So till now only we have added a dependency in your pom.xml, and then we are ready with the swagger. But now let's say that you want to yeah. So before that, I will show you how you can change this API doc. So this is the default, right? So you can change the URL of this according to your customization, right? So for that, what you have to do? So let me go to Eclipse, and then you have to open property application.properties file basically. Yeah. So what you have to do for this, you can use this Spring Doc API doc dot path. Okay. So in this, yeah. So with this Spring Doc dot API dot path, and you have to give your customized path, right? So this is the path I have given, and then you have to save it. And again, you have to restart your application. And after that, if you will go to Chrome, and here in place of basically API doc 3, you can simply put search API. So now with the search API in the URL, you can see that still you can access this, right? So it means that this is working. Okay, so now with your customized URL, you can get this JSON data. So similar manner, if you want to customize this URL, so this also you can do. So for the UI I am talking about, if you want to customize the URL of the UI, Swagger UI, then you have to give this configuration in your application or properties file with springdoc.swagger.ui.path, and then you have to give your URL, right? So let's say that this URL you want to give for your application, and you have to save it. So and you have to restart your application. So let me copy this. Let's move to this. So you have to paste this after 8080 port. I think application does not started. Okay. So like basically I have to restart my application again, and then we have to try. So with this we can means use this. Okay, so for now I will comment it out, and then in the browser again, this is for the API. So basically due to the cache, it was not working. uh, Let me restart this again. So because like sometimes the cache takes, so that's why it is not loading. So basically you have to open with the private browser mode, or you can clear your cache, and then you can use this path. But if the time constraint, I'm not going to do this. You can try this yeah, so you can try this line of code, and then by clearing the browser you will able to access the same UI with this URL, right? So let me go to the browser now. Okay, quit. I think there is issue with my So it is started here. Let me see if I can hit with the postman. Yeah, postman is working. It means my application is up, but here I am facing problem. Yeah, so this comes due to the cache problem. Okay, let me copy this. It's better. I will open into the new Inito mode. Yeah, for now here I will try this. See, now you can see that I am able to access the UI. So basically, this happens due to the cache problem. So either you have to delete your yeah, so you have to delete your like browser cache, or you can use simply the private mode. Yeah. So now I will show you how you can customize, basically customize your title and the other properties, okay, of your endpoint or the class. So you can see that here you are using OpenAPI definition, right? So let me go to the Eclipse. So in your main class here, what you have to do, so basically you have to use this annotation, OpenAPI definition. Okay, so this and you have to import this with the IO Swagger. So this is the one of the annotation you can use, and then info equals to add the red info annotation. And then in this annotation, you have to give the title. So you can give the title according to your requirement. So title I have given like article search API version 2.0 description article information, right? And now I will save this and I will restart my application. And now if I will go to the browser, then here you can see that now it is coming article search API 2.0, right? And with the search API. And here you can see this article information is coming here. So basically with this, you can give the definition or the title of your application, right? So now let's move ahead and let's see how we can give a change or define these endpoints. So basically in our controller class, we have the three endpoints, right? So now we are going to document or change or give the description for every endpoint. So first of all, I will give the name or the definition for this class. So for that, we have one tag, means annotation with the at the red tag. Yeah, so we have annotation tag, and in this annotation tag, we have you can write the name like search API, and also you can give a description as, let's say, article search API, right? Let me save this, and automatically the server will start. And now if you will go to here, then here you can see the changes. Basically, see, now you can see the search API, article search API, right? So maybe I've given the wrong spelling, so that's why it's showing like that. Yeah, so in this manner you can change this. Okay, you can give you can define uh, this controller class. In the same manner, if you want to define this endpoint, then for that we have the another an annotation like operation. Okay, so inside the operation you can write the summary, you can give the summary. Let's say this endpoint, what it does, it get all articles, right? And yeah, so this is the summary of this endpoint. In the similar manner, you can define what are the responses you can means get from this. So for that, we have the another annotation with the API response, and then in that we have the response code. So let's say response code is 200. Okay, and here the description you can give as, let's say, if we got 200, then we will say we found the data, right? Found all articles, right? and and also you can define the content of it. So for that, we have another text like content, and here you can define. So inside the content, again we have the content annotation, uh, and inside the content annotation you can give the media type, whether you are using JSON or file or XML, right? So for that, you can give the media type, and media type you can give, let's say, application slash JSON, right? And in the similar manner, you can give the schema. Okay, so schema means that response will be stored in which like model class. So for that, we have a schema annotation already present here. Let me put enter here. Yeah, so here we have another annotation, schema. And in the schema, basically we have the implementation. Okay, and in the implementation you can give your class name. So basically I'm going to give my entity class name, article dot class. So basically here what I did, first I have given the summary of this endpoint, that is will come as get all article, and then there is one annotation API response. So basically in this you can define different response code. Let's say if 200 comes, then it will describe as found all article, and then the content is like JSON type, and schema is article.json, right? So this is the one of the response you can define. If you want to define another like responses, other responses, you can do that. Simply let add one more with the same annotation API response, and then we have a response code. Now let's say response code is 404. So basically if we will get a 404, then what you want to say in description, let's say article not found. Okay, so article not found. Yeah. So in this way, you can define n number of responses which you are expecting. So you can define and document here, right? Yeah. So here what we use, here we have used at the red tag. So basically this will define your controller, and then if you have to document or describe your endpoint, then you can use at the rate operation annotation, and then in the summary you can give your detail. And if you want to document all the responses which you are expecting, then at the rate response, and then you can define the schema and also the content type. Okay, so let me save this, and now I will show the difference how it will look in your UI. So let's move here. So now you can see that before refresh, I have done changes in get all article, right? So here you can see that there is no information, much information is showing here, right? Only code, okay, description is there, right? And there is no response as much anything, and there is no, so let me refresh this. So after refreshing, you can see that I'm getting the description of this endpoint, get all article. So by this, you will, any developer or anyone will understand, okay, so this endpoint is for getting all article, right? And if you will expand this, you can see all the responses. Now here you can observe with the 200 code, the description is found all article, and also this is right, and this is the media type it's showing. In the similar manner, we have added one more 404. So if 404 comes, that means that article not found. So in this way, you can add more responses and you can describe whatever you want in your endpoint, right? So this is for describing the endpoint, right? So in the similar manner, you can put the description for the other endpoints also. So let's see the another endpoints for the add article. Okay, so in the similar manner, you can add here. So let me copy this operation and I will put it here. So basically, for every endpoint, you have to put a separate annotation, because every annotation has a different summary, right? So this get all article will give information like get all articles. This add article will give the another summary. So that's why you have to add a separate annotation for this. So let's say this says add article in database in DB. Okay. So this is a summary. In the similar manner, okay, so here I will show you one more thing. Earlier, we have not used here the description, right? But now with the add, we can use description also. So let me add and show you the difference. So in the description, you can describe more, more word like add article to save article in database, right? So in this manner, you can give like more description about this API, right? And in the similar manner, if you want to add response, then you can do this. So let me add copy this, paste it here, and now I'm going to change 200 description. Let's say description as added article article in DB, right? So content and all things, we can keep it if you want, or you can remove it. So let it be there. Okay. In the similar manner, you can add 404, but 404 is will not be there. But you can use like something 500. Okay. So let's say 500 102. So basically 500 for server error, right? So you can define the particular response code, and you can also define here the description as a server not found or server error, right? Let me save this. So for this add article endpoint, now we will see the difference in the UI. So here you can see that till now in that article we don't know, we does not have any more information that what this endpoint do, right? If I will expand this, then here you can see that there is no like much information about the code and all, right? So let me rephrase this. Now you can see here in the post, in the add article, you can see that add article in DB, and this is the description we added, right? Add article to save article. So this is give you the more information about this endpoint. In the similar manner, in the response code, we have added 200 added article in DB and 500 server not found, right? So in this manner, you can document for your endpoints, right? And for this, you have to give these annotations to your every endpoint, because every endpoint have their different summary and their descriptions, because every endpoint do a different task, right? So this is all about how to means document your API using Swagger OpenAPI. So what steps I did? Simply I added the dependency in my pom.xml, this dependency. So it will by default activate your Swagger. And in the browser, by accessing this, you can get a simple UI, but with a minimum information about your endpoint. If you want to define the more information of your endpoint, then you have to use these annotations for this control class, this, and for your endpoint you can use this, right? And also for overall defining your project, if you want to define summary, then you can use open API definition, article search API, and article information in a description. So like this manner, you can add a description or document your API. So the last thing I will try to do, that view, if you want to disable this API doc, basically, let me try. Yeah, okay. So this API doc is not working with the cache problem. Oh, okay, maybe I have changed. Oh, sorry, I have changed the path, right? Yeah. So this is the search API now. Let me go. Yeah. So with this, you will get a JSON data about your all the API information, right? So if you want to disable that, no one will use this URL to access, then you can also do that by going to your application.properties, and here you have to use this application doc.api.enable as true, or you can mark this as false. You have to save this. So now you will see, if I will try to access this, then I will get white label error page, because I had purposely disable this API doc URL, right? So basically this API doc URL is to get the JSON data, and this UI is basically API doc.path is basically, the Swagger UI path is basically used to get the UI of your documentation, right? Yeah. So yeah. So like I hope this lecture is useful for you. Yeah. So thank you.